Alright, after a very long time, well, 2 weeks isn't so long, but it's long for YouTube. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World. Yeah, I've got some explaining to do. I think I sort of owe everyone an explanation as to where I've been, why I was gone so long. So, we'll start with that before getting into the process of Stygian Zinogre, and I do a bit of walking around at first here anyway, trying to find him, so... Hey, it all works out, doesn't it? What do you know? So, why did I stop? Well, mostly just sort of a lack of motivation. I've been grinding this game pretty hard, as, you know, you can no doubt tell from my YouTube channel, for basically since around May. So, about half of May, most of June, and a bit of July, so about a month. 2 months, a month and a half-ish. It's around about where... how long I've been pretty hardcore playing this game. And I figured, you know, it's that plus the fact that, right at that time, the new Pokemon expansion came out. I'm not sure, in fact, I don't think any of you know, because I don't think I've ever mentioned it, but I am a pretty big Pokemon fan, so I was very excited to start digging into that. And so... I did play a lot of Pokemon during those couple months, or those two-ish weeks off. I think it's actually a little bit more than 2 weeks, but hey, it's about close enough. It's 2 weeks for YouTube. So, that's sort of what I was doing. I was playing a lot of Pokemon, I was sort of just taking a break. But, you know, I tried trying to get back into it every now and then, but it didn't happen for a while. Actually... until yesterday, actually, when I really decided, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And so I went ahead to do the Scarred Yian Garuga quest. Turns out you can only fight him in temper mode, and he absolutely destroyed me. The fact that I didn't bring my Palico certainly didn't help, but probably won't be doing him next. I'm not sure who I will be doing, but he's probably off the table for now. So, what else? Well, so I did end up running Stygian Zinogre, and so I was like, alright, let's just do him. He sounds easy enough. And turns out he was not terribly difficult. I mean, he did get me pretty good at my first go-around, but second time, I got a pretty clean kill on him. Didn't take him too long, he wasn't too difficult. The problem was that for some bizarre reason, my recording software stopped recording, like, I don't know, halfway through the run? A little before then, but... the point is, I lost like half of my recording for seemingly no reason. There was basically no way of getting it back, so I was like, well, that's kind of a bust. What are you gonna do? So, I ended up having to re-record it today, which is quite probably... it took a bit longer than I would have liked, because he only appears in the Guiding Lands in the Frozen region with levels 3 and above. So that meant I had to spend a whole bunch of time getting it up to that point. I also had to spend a bunch of time farming for Nourishing Extract because it's a lot harder to get it now. For some reason, the Argosy doesn't bring in the Mega Demon Drugs and the Mega Armor Skins, and although I don't use too many of them, I use them fairly consistently, so I do need them. And I don't remember if they drop from the what's machine, the Steamer. I'll have to check that. If they do, I'll definitely be investing a lot of time into farming that up, because I'd much rather do that than fight Palumu over and over again for Nourishing Extract, because that's kind of annoying to do. In principle. Or just in general. But yeah, that's what I was gone for so long. That's sort of what I've been doing in time that you weren't seeing me. I did post about... I probably should have left some kind of a post just on my community tab just saying, hey, I'm taking a break for a while, but, well, it just never really occurred to me. I did leave one saying that I was going to be back soon, and hopefully, unless something catastrophic happens, that will be the case. So, hopefully I don't do my first Zinogre video and delete the footage before I upload it, because that would be terrible. So, let's get into the actual monster himself, Stygian Zinogre. He's obviously a variant of the regular Zinogre monster, except he uses Dragon. His main element is Dragon, as opposed to regular Zinogre's Thunder, as I'm sure you all know. Otherwise, why would you be here? So, he's got a couple of interesting mechanics. So first, they change. Most of his attacks are effectively identical. He does have a couple of slightly different attacks, but the vast majority of them are the same. They did change. He has a couple of really special ones that I'll show you when he does them, but those are the main ones that are realistically any different. The vast majority of his moveset is identical. It's just his typing. Well, his attack type is different. That's the main thing you got to worry about. The other big problem is his weaknesses. He is only... So his main weakness is Thunder, but it's only 1 star, except it's 3 star when he's charged. So that's kind of interesting. So he doesn't take a whole lot of elemental damage, so you're actually probably better off using some kind of... He's actually weakest to Blast, so if you have a pretty good Blast weapon on you, yeah, go ahead and use that. That's probably your best bet. However, I do not have a very good Blast weapon on me, which I consider good to be rarity 12 and above, so that was not really an option for me. Well, I'd say actually probably rarity 11, but I didn't even have that, so whatever. So I decided to run with my Despot's Twin Bolt, which is actually a Zinogre weapon, ironically enough. What do you know? He's got the same breakable parts as Zinogre, which, no surprise, most variants and alternate versions of monsters that they tend to work that way. But and I'm not sure if he's a little bit more damage or he's more aggressive. I'm not entirely sure. He may be. If so, I haven't really noticed it. Basically, if you didn't have much trouble with regular Zinogre, like I didn't, the chance that this guy is gonna really cause you too much grief is very low. It's not like a Devil Joe to Savage Devil Joe thing, where like they change a bunch of his attacks and you get a lot more annoying. This is more like, I would say... He's not super different, because most of his attacks, maybe a different element, are effectively the same, so I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Nothing's coming to mind. I'd say maybe Viper Tobikadachi to regular Tobikadachi, because most of their movesets... Okay, we're starting to do some of the new attacks, so... Yeah, now he can summon Dragon Lightning Bolts a bunch. This is actually his special, but I'm not sure if I get a good view of it, so he's gonna slam down once, slam down twice, and he does charge. And he also summons a crap ton of these lightning bolts all around him. He's got one more attack that we haven't quite seen yet, but I know he does it fairly soon. No, not fairly soon. He does do it eventually. Other than, like, those... He summons a bit more dragon element. The lightning balls. I think that's the main big difference. I think the other one is like an advancing wave of lightning, which I always seem to be right in front of. Just gotta roll a bunch. However, I will note one thing. Well, actually, I'll wait till he starts charging and then I'll actually point it out because it's a lot easier to see visual. Also, that claw swipe right there, watch out for that. That's caught me off guard probably a lot more. His physical attacks are probably a lot more dangerous than his special ones, at least for me, because they seem to be the ones that caught me off guard the most. Is that just my experience? I don't know if it's... I don't know if they actually have kind of weird hitboxes, but it sort of feels like it. At least they're the ones that are either they're not terribly well telegraphed, or they just tend to catch me off guard the most. It might be a me thing. It might be the same thing with him, I don't know. Oh yeah, this insect glaive buff thing. So I think that's the first time I've managed to do it on camera. I don't know what causes that. I don't know what benefits it has either. I'm really gonna have to look into that. I know most of the stuff about the insect glaive, but that's something that I've seen a lot, and I don't know how to do it or what the benefits would be. So, I suppose put that on my big list of stuff I need to learn. Everything else. So, obviously, there's a brand new area here. There's the Hoarfrost Reach area, which, you know, it's like every other area of the Guiding Lands. Some resources to farm, some new creatures to encounter. There's his head broken, which is always nice. You know, it is what it is. I mean, it's not a terribly interesting place. It's a lot like the rest of the Guiding Lands, which is kind of neat, but, you know, whatever. Other interesting thing I've noticed with both Zinogre and Stygian Zinogre, they seem to have a weird heartbreak system. I know I said they were the same as Zinogre, but I want to talk about this. So sometimes it feels like his legs break independently, and sometimes it seems like they're breaking together. And I'm not sure which is which. I really need to do more research to figure out, does he have 5 breakable parts or just 4? Because sometimes it feels like it's 4, other times it feels like it's 5. I ended up getting 4 this run, but it is actually 5. Well, who cares? Still a pretty good run, so I'm keeping it. The other thing that you may have seen there is that when he's charging, he only summons lightning bolts on, yeah, you can see it right now, he only summons lightning bolts on his sides. So if you want to try and attack him directly at his front or directly on his back, or then at his tail, you can totally do that with basically no risk until, well, he decides to stop charging and start attacking. But yeah, I think this is the first, I think it might be the first variant, well, there's really not very different variant I've had to cover, because I did do Silver Rathalos and Gold Rathian right before I went on break. But yeah, he's not so different from regular Zinogre. Unlike, I think Gold Rathian and Silver Rathalos were definitely a lot more different because they had their whole Hellfire mechanic and a bunch of new physical attacks, but he's just got a couple of new elemental attacks, really, and that's about it. He does have these weird block a whole bunch of elemental damage thing, which I sort of get because that's sort of how the dragon element works. Like in practice, it removes elemental damage from weapons, attacks, but they didn't change too much with him. He does look really cool, like the white, red, and black. White, red, and black basically always looks cool if you don't, unless you manage to massively screw it up. So, alright, there's his legs. I end up going after his tail immediately afterwards because I want the tail off. That's just for carves. Although he does have a lot of attack with his tail. Not again, he only really move the tail tip, so there's not like a huge benefit. Unlike, again, like Rathian and Yian Garuga are a pretty good example where removing the tail has a pretty large benefit because it represents one of their kinds of attacks, namely their poison attacks. So these other monsters like, you know, blah. I'm trying to say blah. Zinogre and Rathalos were removing their tail doesn't really do much. So this is his signature attack once again. And this is the only other time he does it. It's a pretty cool looking signature attack, and I do like that they changed it from Zinogre's, which, while cool, was kind of underwhelming. I definitely like this one better in terms of just looks. It definitely looks way cooler. What else? So I suppose I should start talking about which monster I'm going to do next. I have thought about going back to Scarred Yian Garuga. I may try him again. Don't know. I probably could do him with no feints, although do it whether or not I want to is a different question. Tempered Black Diablos was an absolute nightmare, and I'm not looking to repeat anytime soon. The other idea I had was doing, so obviously, as I think many of you know, the Elatrion update just came out. And if not, close to the time of the video, it did. And so, obviously I'm not going to be doing Elatrion just yet. I don't think I'm quite ready for him. But the other monster that was added that I didn't actually see coming, but maybe I should have, is Frostfang Barrier, which is certainly interesting. I I may do him, but it may take a minute because he's very new and there's not much information on him. So I may decide to wait until there's more information out about him. It doesn't seem like he would be too terribly difficult. The third possibility that comes to mind is Raging Brachydios. Now, while I am pretty scared of him, because I really did not like regular... Well, I don't think I hated regular Brachydios. He was kind of annoying, though. That's a pretty annoying attack. And I'm not so afraid of him that I wouldn't do him if he was the best option for the next monster I would have to fight. So it looks like, for me, like one of those three will probably be the next thing that I do. Which one? Different question. I'm not entirely sure. And there's the tail. I might have done MR Kolftaroth, but she's off rotation at the moment, I believe. I'm not sure. I know Latreon is in. I think Safi'jiiva is in as well, so I may do Safi'jiiva. That's definitely a thing that I'm considering. Although, that's still a big question mark. If I had the choice between, I may do one of those other three variants I mentioned first, before ever really touching Safi'jiiva. Because, well, Safi'jiiva, I did do like a little practice run with them, the little mission you do before, basically so I could get Stygian Zinogre to show up in the Guiding Lands without having to do the special assignment. But, which is free to bundle anyway, so I didn't find him too terribly difficult. I mean, he was like kind of a slightly buffed Zinogre, and I didn't really hate Zinogre, although from the memes I am led to believe that that's because the Insight Wave is really good against him, but I've never used any other weapon, so I don't actually know that for certain. Take that with a grain of salt. I guess he does do his signature multiple times. So, what do I know? I can't remember the monsters that are even available, so... Well, let's count them down real quick. So there's Raging Brachydios, Furious Rajang, Latreon, Safi'jiiva, Kolftaroth, Lunastra, actually, although I have yet to see Lunastra at all. I don't pick up her track, like, investigation going on or anything, so she's definitely a, I'm not sure about her just yet. Then Frostfang Barioth, Scarred Yian Garuga, and is that everything? That might be all of them, so there's just... I will have to check one... Actually, yeah, well, you're watching this. I'm actually on my computer, so I can go and check, just look through the monsters. Although, that's all the key noises, I probably shouldn't do that to mess with the audio. I'll do it later. But... yeah. I'm not quite sure which one I'll be doing next. So... I won't probably not. Usually I like to put it in the script. Blah. I like to put in the description which monster I'm doing next, but this I'm a little bit unsure. Probably Scarred Yian Garuga, but again, I don't really know because I'll have to experiment around a bit and see what people are saying. So, he's just about dead here. We've cut off his tail. We've broken his legs and his head. The only thing left is his back, which I'll actually get up here in the final area, but... yeah, he's about to go chill out on his icy little rock place and go to sleep. And we're gonna follow him, and we're gonna... attempt to beat the crap out of him, as you do. So, he's not, again... towards the end of the run I like to talk about just... in general, how I felt about each individual monster. He's not awful. I even say I enjoy some aspects of his fight. I do think I like him less than regular Zinogre, but I definitely do enjoy him. He's not like a monster that I actively... If you told me I had to fight him, I'd be like, oh lord, not him. This is one of you guys like, hey, I kind of enjoy this guy. He's not so bad. And he does look damn cool too, so that always helps. So he's like... Regular Zinogre's like a 7 or 8 for me. He's like a 6. No, I'd say regular Zinogre's an 8. He's closer to like a 6 or a 7. Maybe. Yeah, there's his back broken. I definitely don't hate him. I don't love him, but let's put it like this. I don't love him, but I do like him. Oh, I guess he does. Yeah, the kind of annoying / helpful thing about this area is that there's all these geysers that pop up that blast air. They're pretty situational. Sometimes they can help you dodge an attack, sometimes they cause you to mess up one of your attacks, sometimes they drop you into an attack. It's all very situational. It doesn't really, there's no real, I would say it's kind of luck when you get blasted up by those. Yeah, he's gonna die here pretty soon. Yeah, if you couldn't already tell by the fact the video's about to end, this is close to the end. Yeah, we're just gonna wail on him a little bit more. Eventually he shall perish. Whack, 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 whack. Eventually he'll die. Yeah, there we go. So, there we go. Stygian Zinogre. Not quite sure what I would say. So, future of the channel. So hopefully I will begin to go back to uploading fairly regularly after my little break. So I suppose you should expect the next video sometime early next week, I would say. Monday, maybe Tuesday. I'm going to have to do a little bit of work over the next couple days to just try and figure out, you know, what I want to do next. And, you know, gather the various materials that I need to do that. As well as just doing some other non-Monster Hunter World stuff, because as much as I would love to, I can't do this all day. So, yeah, that's probably going to about do it for this video. Thank you for putting up with me during my very sudden and unexplained absence. Hopefully this video will give you something to chew on and also clear a lot of the confusion up. So I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe, comment, whatever your comments may be, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace out.